Alan, you know, it's been 14 months now since you've been out of the prison in Cuba. So what have you been doing with yourself? How are you doing, and what have you been doing?
I'm a grandfather. You know, the year has flown by. It's really been a fantastic year, a surreal time in a positive way. And to cap off the year with the arrival of my first granddaughter was just wonderful. Life is good.
And after years in prison, we are overjoyed that Alan Gross is back where he belongs. Welcome home, Alan. We're glad you're here.
And you could never have imagined that sitting in the Cuban prison.
No, not at all. I missed my family terribly, and I missed so many life cycle events, happy and sad events.
What was it like, Alan? What was your time in prison like? I mean, we've heard horror stories, especially of political dissidents in Cuba and others.
I have to say the first year was difficult. It was one of sensory deprivation, and I mean that I guess in a technical context. I had no mental stimulation whatsoever. I had no television, no radio. I had nothing to read, no books. I was not even allowed to have paper and pen. And that combined with the bright fluorescent lights that were on 24/7 made it difficult to sleep. And so until I managed to sleep with a towel over my eyes, I really didn't get much sleep. And I'm sure that was intentional to complement their interrogation sessions that we had every day for almost a year.
Well, was there mental torture? Was there physical torture? What did they do to you?
There was no physical torture per se, aside from the malnutrition that I experienced. They did threaten to hang me. They threatened to extract my fingernails. They said that I'd never see the light of day. And that's not something that a friend would say. But I really didn't take it seriously. That they never followed through. Obviously, they didn't hang me, and they didn't withdraw, extract my fingernails. But they got into my face during one of the interrogation sessions, and it was comical to me. The lead interrogator said to me in Spanish, "Do you know how Saddam Hussein died?" And he got up in my face. And then the interpreter turns around to me and says in English, "Do you know how Saddam Hussein died?" And I said, "What?" And the interpreter said, "¿Qué?" And so the lead interrogator said the question again. "Do you know how Saddam Hussein died?" And I said, "Probably the same way you're going to die." And nothing happened to me. They didn't, hold me back and beat me up or anything like that. I mean, and it's a good thing too, because
they could have. They may have.
They could have. They used that practice freely.
Why didn't they do it on you? Because they have done that on Cubans.
Because I was their asset. I was their asset. They had 5 intelligence agents who had been arrested and convicted and imprisoned in the United States. And they had pretty much exhausted all legal aspects to get them out. And I think that when I was first detained, their intention was to poke Uncle Sam in the eye. But then they realized that they could use me as a trading chip, as a pawn.